All right, it is 8:30. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our second to last meeting of the year, this crazy COVID year. It looked like, see Commissioner Melton, Hennessy, Bukowski, Jones, Breeby, just making sure we have quorum, Coleman, Sparks, Morgan. Stack Cronstein. All right. Well, we will get started. Welcome everyone to the December 3rd meeting of the Kent County Board of Commissioners. We'll call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Good morning, Madam Chair. Commissioners Skaggs. I'm sorry, making sure I heard that. Commissioner Skaggs? Commissioner Wooden? Commissioner Wooden? Commissioner Womack? Commissioner Womack? Commissioner Womack, did you say here? Commissioner Bukowski?
I'll be the first one here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Commissioner
I'm here.
Jim Talon is here. Commissioners Hennessy?
Here.
Melton?
Here.
Sparks? Commissioner Sparks?
Present.
Commissioners Teal?
Here.
Breeby?
I'm here.
Coleman?
Here.
Voorhees?
Present.
Constein?
Here.
Vice Chair Steck?
Here.
Commissioners Jones?
Here.
Morgan?
Here.
Antor?
Here.
Funk?
Here.
Chair Bolter?
I'm here.
Womack is here.
Let's go back to Commissioner Skaggs.
Here.
Commissioners Wooden?
Here.
Okay,
Womack is here.
Commissioner Womack is here. Madam Chair, you have 19 members present, 0 absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are on to item 3 of our agenda today, and I'll call on Commissioner Morgan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's my privilege to introduce to you Deacon Jim Hessler from Our Lady of Consolation Church here in Rockford. Jim's been with our parish for about 15 years, and his family roots go back in the Rockford area to about 1865. So it's my privilege to introduce Deacon Jim for our invocation this morning.
Thank you very much, Roger. Roger's been a friend, well-known community citizen for many, many years here, and we think a lot of Roger. So glad to be here today. And so just a little prayer to start out your work today, and may this help guide your deliberations. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father in heaven, Scripture directs us to pray for those in authority. Timothy says, make supplications, prayers, intercessions, and thanksgiving for everyone, for kings and all who are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceful life in all godliness and honesty, for this is good and acceptable in the sight of God, our Savior. Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for the leadership we have enjoyed in governmental bodies like this one, who truly strive to govern toward the common good to the best of their abilities. We are thankful that good people such as these are willing to offer their time and talent to the thankless job of serving on our county board. Lord, given that these folks have committed themselves to serve the public, we know that good people can still disagree on what is best. Father, grant them wisdom to execute justice well, and grant them with compromising hearts civil tongues, open minds, and listening ears. Also today, Father Almighty, we do pray in thanksgiving for the gift of living in a community such as this. We have some challenges, but let us remember that we have been so greatly blessed in many ways. We ask your continued blessings on our county and divine assistance to these servants of the people. As they serve these coming years, protect them, their families, and all of us in this great community of ours. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. I bless you all in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Well, thank you, Deacon Hessler, and please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to
To the flag of the United
United
States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. Thank you very much. And I will leave you to your business.
Thank you so much, Deacon Hessler. That was a wonderful prayer. We're so appreciative of you as well, and to have you in our community. And thank you, Roger, for sharing Deacon Hessler with us today. We're on to special order of business, item 5 of our agenda, and I will call on Deb Aldering to give us an annual update on our local emergency planning. Deb? Yeah, PowerPoint. Deb, are you on?
I saw her earlier.
I know, I'm here.
She's here.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, I appreciate it. So they're gonna control my PowerPoint, but this is our annual report. We stopped having meetings in January, but we continue to be in contact with our members. So this is, I combined the 2019 and 2020. Just keep moving the slides since I only have 10 minutes, that'd be fine. All right, so meet the committee members. Our committee members are kind of switching around a little bit, but what you can see is that we've got environmental, community health, a lot of industry, fire, pre-hospital transport, hospitals. Keep going, please. Lou Hunt did retire from Kent County. He's working now as the Ottawa County Emergency Manager, and Matt Grosser has taken his place, so he's still getting his feet wet with the LEPC. So we have the rapid involved, we have the weather, we have, next slide please, we have hospitals. Again, we're really American Red Cross, Salvation Army, anybody who would help us in an emergency, especially with mass evacuations. Again, and Commissioner Talon's still on too. Go ahead. So our main objective every year is to write these plans. So we wrote 14 new offsite response plans, 11 for Kent County, 3 for Grand Rapids. We revised 178 for Kent County and 51 for Grand Rapids. So we were able to get those all in time. They've all been approved. They're all uploaded to our website, our Web Tier 2 Manager, as well as our exclusive cloud storage account for all fire jurisdictions. That way that if there's any mutual aid, that they can access that information. And the 911 dispatchers at Kent County also have these plans. We did not have any reported releases over the reportable quantities this year. We had to cancel broke our heart, but we had to cancel our seminar. We were already heavily into the planning stage, but because of COVID, we couldn't pack 110 people into the Amway. We have the fire jurisdictions reviewing these plans as we write them to make sure that they're the right fire jurisdiction for that particular site, because some of them are bordering on the jurisdictional lines. And then they look at them, and then once they get their edits, then we go ahead and provide them in our quarterly meetings. We have a public information subcommittee, and we haven't been real active on that, but we have been looking at the website and making sure our information's accurate. The transportation subcommittee is kind of on pause right now too, but they were working on a really nice local mass transportation plan with Tom Bile with the Road Commission. And that's pretty close to being done. We'll see if we can finish that up in 2021. We exercised in 2019. We have a option of doing tabletops functional and full scale. We chose to do a tabletop. We did that with Roscam Baking, please, the next one. With Roscam Baking Company, that was on May 15th, and we did anhydrous ammonia, and it really helped Roscam, next slide, please, realize that that their vulnerable zone actually enveloped their entire corporate headquarters, so they changed their plan. They changed, next plan, please, next slide, please. They changed, you can see we had a great response from their team, from Kenwood Fire, Cascade Fire, Grand Rapids Fire. That's Lou Hunt presenting. We had hospitals there, we had dispatchers there, but anyway, we discovered that this was their vulnerable area, and since we discovered this in this tabletop, Roscam has moved that receiver so that no trucks could hit it, and so that was a huge positive that came out of this tabletop. And you can see that their corporate headquarters, this would have taken out all of M6. It would have taken out the Beltline. It would have been devastating. So they changed that whole thing now. And so that zone now has gone away. We are still working with Citizens Corps. Again, we aren't as active as we are virtually, but they are still looking at grants and trying to get their training up to speed. And they oversee the CERT, Community Emergency Response Team, Medical Reserve Corps, Neighborhood Watch, Volunteers in Policing, and Fire Corps programs are all part of Citizens Corps. And Lou Hunt, just before he retired, he was working on a merger of these volunteers, and I'm not sure if Matt has quite picked that up yet, but because he's just getting his feet wet, he hasn't been at the job very long at all. So we have a website, and we keep that up as far as any SARA Title III information. If there's any changes, we continue to answer the phone with our sites that are asking questions about their tier 2s. We're working with LEPC activities, and we're doing a lot of virtual just every quarter. So we send out some information that, you know, we have the plans approved. We did apply for the hemp grant. We did get it. We were approved for it. So we're still moving on. It's just all virtual, as you know. So next year, what we're hoping to do, depending on what COVID does, we will continue our emergency plans. I mean, we start seeing those in February and March. This year, we had them all done by June 1st. And we will continue to work with Eagle. And if somebody has the wrong tier 2, and that way that they have to change them, the LEPC cannot. We are going to continue our outreach efforts to especially working with Pat Draper at the Health Department. I know she's really busy with COVID, but she continues to look at and work with the functional need groups that would need some special help with evacuations. We're providing any updates to our local responding agencies, and we're continuing to work with the railroads via Tom Bile. This year, we didn't know what to do about our plan, so the EPA reached out to Matt Grosser at the Sheriff's Department, and they want to exercise what's called a risk management plan. But the site that they chose, Arkema in Grand Rapids, we only plan for battery acid, whereas they want to respond to isobutylene. That would not fulfill our requirements to exercise a plan. So we have suggested an alternate plan, which is Plainfield Water, which would be chlorine, which would then open up our EOC and actually exercise our plan. And so we're in negotiations with that right now. But we probably will partner with them to do our plan this year. We're going to keep up our community awareness. Just before we stopped our meetings in January, we had several people volunteer for the various subcommittees, and it looks like our industry outreaches and our community awareness has picked up with a lot of Joe LaFergie's leadership. So we're hoping to get some more information out this year, hopefully. And we're going to continue and distribute information to functional groups. And like I said, Pat Draper at the Health Department has been wonderful as far as getting that information to nursing homes, special needs groups, daycares, churches, etc. And these are our videos that we have on our website. They're still there. We still see people taking some of them out. So we know that they're active. And we're gonna try and put our industry outreach. We were pretty well deep into the planning, and we have our title and we have our speakers identified. Hopefully we can pick out a date in November and have an in-person meeting. They're very popular. We had an executive subcommittee meeting at the last meeting in January. We updated our bylaws, and we are still looking for other sources of funding for more. The funding is for information only to provide information during Chemical Awareness Week. And our bylaws were updated in 2020 in January, and that's us.
Great, thank you, Deb.
You're welcome.
We have questions for Deb today. Sometimes you do such a good job and you're so thorough that all of our questions are answered. It looks like Commissioner Talon has a question.
Well,
Commissioner-
thank you, Chair. I don't have a question. I just wanted to follow up on your comment about Deb being thorough. And I want to acknowledge having worked with Deb way back in the early 1990s when I started at the county, and we worked together then on the LEPC, and it's been such an amazing privilege to be able to work with such an incredible community leader. I want to acknowledge how fortunate we are in Kent County to have her continued involvement in this and continued leadership. And I just want to say thank you, Deb. You probably know I will be leaving the committee at the end of the year, and I want to encourage my colleagues to think about participating in this moving forward. It's an important work in our community, and thank you, Deb, for your leadership over all these years.
Thank you, Jim. And we thank you for your participation in our committee as well.
Commissioner Volkowski.
Thank you, Chair. Also not a question, just a quick comment. Deb mentioned it quickly because she mentioned everything quickly this morning. Thank you. And just the continued excellent work of the committee in reaching out to people with disabilities, making sure that folks would be taken care of that have additional needs in case of an emergency. And just as another example of that and a forewarning of an additional conflict of interest that I'll soon have, our health department reached out to disability advocates, and we proposed for a national competition for a grant. And so again, our health department and this local emergency planning committee always being proactive to make sure, sorry for the cliche, but no one's left behind.
I have to give a lot of credit to the American Red Cross and the Salvation Army especially. They have really stepped up when we had the evacuations of the nursing homes during the blizzards a couple years ago now, I guess. But we realized very hardcore at that day how hard it is to evacuate special needs people, especially the confusion, putting them on a bus, putting them in a strange environment. So we included all of that learning into our planning.
Great, Commissioner. There's a phone number up here with the hand up. I believe it's Commissioner Vonk.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Deb, I'll echo the same words that were mentioned by the other commissioners. Always a pleasure to serve on your committee. Found a lot of fun there and a lot of learning and some good times as well. I do have a question. You went over quite quickly about Plainfield Water and batteries and so forth. Would you expand on that just a little bit, please?
Yes, most of our plans, Ted, as you remember, are battery acid. And as you know, I've had a 40-year fight now with the EPA on why we have to waste our time with battery acid. As a degreed chemist, the characteristics of sulfuric acid are not going to go anywhere. So The newer plans we just had, for instance, were because people went from 500 pounds of battery acid to 1,000 pounds, which is now the planning quantity. So our plans basically say the battery acid isn't going to leave the site. We're not going to open up the EOC. We're not going to respond to it. They're going to neutralize it, clean it up like they normally do. So when the EPA reached out to us and said they wanted to use ARCM as their risk management planning exercise, we said, well, that's not going to exercise our plan. Our plan, the reason we want to exercise Plainfield Township's water department, which they volunteered, is because chlorine would actually cause a community disaster, which then we would practice our plan. Is our vulnerable zone accurate? How would we notify the people in that zone? You know, how would our mass transport work? ARCM with that wouldn't do it. So I'm going to push back hard on it. And so far I'm making headways.
Thank you, Deb, for those comments, and I appreciate your good work and keep up the good fight.
Thank you, Commissioner Vonk.
Commissioner Morgan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hey, Deb, I just want to echo, my colleagues' comments. I have to tell you, you need to plan your work and work your plan, and how difficult it is to coordinate all these agencies. And I just think you've been doing just an outstanding job. And now, I just wanted to ask you, now we're on the cusp of getting this 800 system. We should really improve our communication between these various agencies. And have you done any research on that?
Well, first of all, I can't agree with you more, because as you remember, Commissioner Morgan, when we do these exercises, and you've been part of them with Rockford Ambulance, of course, and Grand Rapids Township, communications is always a strain. So we use a group called RACES, and they help out at least with the radios, but our communication committee really hasn't done much this year. I mean, unless they're doing something behind our, and just haven't notified me or Matt Grosser. So we plan on looking at that very hard, because like you said, communications is always terrible during these. I mean, we're trying so hard, but it's a difficult task to keep all the agencies, figuring out what everybody's doing. The planning does help. Like you said, there's a saying, if you fail to plan, then plan to fail. So our plans they go to these people and say, okay, what can we do better? But yeah, communications is always very difficult. I can't agree with you more.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm hoping the 800 system will improve that dramatically. And I just want to thank Commissioner Voorhees for pushing so hard for that 800 system.
It's great news.
I think once it gets up and running, we're all going to be just fascinated on our communication abilities. So thanks, Deb. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner Morgan.
Any other questions for Deb today? I don't see any hands up. All right, Deb, thank you so much. We know that this is something that we hope we never need, but so glad that you're planning to protect us. So thank you, and happy holidays to you.
You as well. Thank you.
We are on to item 6 of our agenda, public comment related to agenda items. Do we have any agenda item and public comment today? In the participants, I don't see any names. Pam, anyone in the email inbox?
There are no messages in the inbox. I don't see any hands raised in the chat.
Okay. Let's move on to number 7 of our agenda, the consent agenda, and I'll call on Commissioner Morgan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move this massive consent agenda.
Moved by Commissioner Morgan, support by Commissioner
Voorhees.
Voorhees. Questions or comments on the consent agenda? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the motion to adopt the consent agenda, Commissioners Skaggs,
Yes.
Wooden,
Yes.
Womack,
Yes.
Bulkowski,
Yes.
Fallon,
Yes.
Hennessy,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Sparks.
Yes.
One more time, Commissioner Sparks.
Yes.
Commissioners Teal,
Yes.
Gravy,
Yes.
Coleman,
Yes.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Hanstein,
Yes.
Vice Chair Steck,
Yes.
Commissioners Jones,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Antor,
Yes.
Vonk,
Yes.
Chair Bolter.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. The consent agenda is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are on to resolutions. We have 7 today, and I will call on Commissioner Hennessy for the first motion.
I move resolution number 128 of today's date, and it is to rank and prioritize the applications under the Purchase of Development Rights Program.
Moved by Commissioner Hennessy, support by Commissioner
Support by
What?
Sparks.
Wooden. Questions or comments on this resolution 128? I don't see any hands. All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the motion to adopt resolution 128, Commissioners Skaggs,
Yes.
Wooden,
Yes.
Womack,
Yes.
Bulkowski,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Hennessy,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Sparks,
Yes.
Teal,
Yes.
Reevy,
Yes.
Coleman,
No.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Hanstein,
Yes.
Vice Chair Steck,
Yes.
Commissioners Jones,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Antor,
Yes.
Vonk,
Yes.
Chair Bolter.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 18 yeas, 1 nay. The motion passes. Resolution 128 is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are on to resolution 8B of the agenda, and I will call on Commissioner Sparks.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move resolution 12/3/20/129 of today's day for the Ready by 5 early childhood millage allocations for 2021 from the Administrator's Office. Thank you.
Moved by Commissioner Sparks, support by Commissioner
Skaggs, I'll second.
Womack. Questions or comments on this? Looks like Commissioner Skaggs has his hand up.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I think the resolution sort of speaks for itself on what we were up to. Just want to again reiterate that we looked at 18 proposals, narrowed it down to 12 that we funded for a total of 2.6 million over 2 years. Took a long, thorough look at these over the course of 3 days. So we are, making sure that these programs are effective and that we're spending the money that's coming from our taxpayers wisely. As you can see, the focus this time was on reaching out to children that are even more difficult than others to bring into and navigate the system so that they can get the programs they need to be successful. We looked at foster care parents, or foster care children, children experiencing homelessness, children in the welfare system, etc. Worked on some interpretation and translation systems, gave a grant to the health department to deal with fetal infant mortality review, etc., etc. So just want to thank everyone who was on the committee. That's our parent representatives, Commissioner Sparks, Dr. Juan Olivares, Sandra Golson-Jones from our administrator's office, who's always extraordinarily helpful, and Joanne Kelty, who's our childhood expert. So thanks to everyone, and especially the taxpayers of Kent County for doing this vital service. Appreciate it. Thank you, Chair.
Any other questions or comments on this resolution? I don't see any hands raised. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the motion to adopt resolution 129, Commissioners Skaggs,
Yes.
Wooden,
Yes.
Womack,
Yes.
Bulkowski,
Yes.
Talon,
Yes.
Hennessy,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Sparks,
Yes.
Teal,
Yes.
Reavy,
Yes.
Coleman,
Yes.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Onstein,
Yes.
Vice Chair Steck,
Yes.
Commissioners Jones,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Antor,
Yes.
Vonk,
Yes.
Chair Bolter.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 129er is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We're on to 8C, and I will call on Commissioner Voorhees.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's my honor to move Resolution 130 of today's date, the 2021 Current Unmet Needs Funding, Department of Health and Human Services.
Moved by Commissioner Voorhees, support by Commissioner
Morgan.
Morgan. Questions or comments on Resolution 130?
Yes, please. Commissioner Voorhees, please.
Voorhees, Commissioner Voorhees?
Yes, I just would like to bring up when we talked about this in the Finance Committee, what a wonderful program it is. I think of my short term on the county commission. We've had this every year, but it's just such a necessary and wonderful idea to go back and look at these unmet needs and find some money for them. And so it was an honor to move this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Voorhees. Any other questions or comments? Commissioner Womack?
Yes, I just want to pick up where Voorhees left.
Children, I am on a Zoom and chill out. No one's here. Go use our.
Commissioner Skaggs, I think you might want to mute. Commissioner Womack?
I want to apologize for Commissioner Skaggs, but the things the father has to do. But want to give a shout out to Voorhees on his work on our 800 unit that we were talking about a little earlier. And also want to agree with him. I think it's great. We're doing some funding for the unmet needs. And I noticed that there was in the presentation in finance that it was a mention that the current needs has went down from $1 million to $397,000 this year, but that's because there's been a lot of millages that have come along over the last decade that have offset a lot of the unmet needs funding. So I think it's great that we're still doing the unmet needs funding, but for some of those in the public that might want to know why that has went down is because there's a lot of programs that used to have to apply for the unmet needs funding that have received that through millages. So just want to put that out for the public and ready to vote with everybody else. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Womack. Commissioner Jones?
Thank you, Chair Bolter. I just wanted to mention that I regularly donate myself to North Kent and do stop in to see Claire, who's the executive director there. And I wanted to let you know, she always mentions to me wholeheartedly, thank you to the entire board, to the commission, to our administrator for continuing to have this and how much it does mean to them.
Any other questions or comments before we vote? I don't see any other hands. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 130, Commissioners Skaggs.
Yes, and apologies for that Zoom moment.
Every parent right now, every parent, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Commissioners
God bless.
Wooden,
Yes.
Womack,
Yes.
Bulkowski,
Yes, blessedly sitting in his empty nest.
Commissioners Talon,
Yes.
Hennessy,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes, I'm busy laughing.
Commissioner Sparks,
Yes.
Teal,
Yes.
Reavy,
Yes, and my kids are at school.
Commissioner Coleman,
Yes.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Feinstein,
Yes.
Vice Chair Steck,
Yes.
Commissioners Jones,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Antor,
Yes.
Bonk,
Yes.
Chair Bolter.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 130 is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are on to 8D, and I will call on Commissioner Talon.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. I'd like to move approval of Resolution 131, the restatement of urban county cooperative agreements that are associated with our federal community development block grant that's from the Community Action Department.
Moved by Commissioner Talon, support by Commissioner Wooden. Questions or comments on Resolution 131? No hands. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 131, Commissioners Skaggs,
Yes.
Wooden,
Yes.
Womack,
Yes.
Bulkowski,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Hennessy,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Sparks,
Yes.
Teal,
Yes.
Reevy,
Yes.
Coleman,
Yes.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Feinstein,
Yes.
Vice Chair Steck,
Yes.
Commissioners Jones,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Antor,
Yes.
Vonk,
Yes.
Chair Bolter.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 131 is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are on to Resolution 8E of our agenda, and I'll call Commissioner Brebe.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. I'd like to move Resolution 132 of today's date, revisions to the Medical Examiner's Office fee schedule from the Medical Examiner's Office.
Moved by Commissioner Brebe, support by Commissioner
Morgan.
Morgan. Questions or comments on this resolution? Don't see any hands raised. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 132, Commissioners Skaggs,
Yes.
Wooden,
Yes.
Womack,
Yes.
Bulkowski,
Yes.
Talon,
Yes.
Hennessy,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Sparks,
Yes.
Teal,
Yes.
Reevy,
Yes.
Coleman,
Yes.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Feinstein,
Yes.
Vice Chair Steck,
Yes.
Commissioners Jones,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Antor,
Yes.
Vonk,
Yes.
Chair Bolter.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 132 is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are on to 8F of our agenda, and I will again call on Commissioner Brebe.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. I move Resolution 133 of today's date, Secondary Roads Supplementary Grant Award Appropriation from the Sheriff's Department.
Support Voorhees.
Moved by Commissioner Brebe, support by Commissioner Voorhees. Questions or comments on Resolution 133? Don't see any hands. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 133, Commissioners Skaggs,
Yes. Yes.
Wooden,
Yes.
Womack,
Yes.
Bulkowski,
Yes.
Talon,
Yes.
Hennessy,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Commissioner Sparks,
Yes.
Teal,
Yes.
Reevy,
Yes.
Coleman,
Yes.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Feinstein,
Yes.
Vice Chair Steck,
Yes.
Commissioners Jones,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Cantor,
Yes.
Funk,
Yes.
Chair Bolter.
Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 133 is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are on to our last resolution, 8G, and I will call on Commissioner Steck.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. I move the adoption of Resolution 134, today's date, which is the CARES Act funding allocation, which I believe will be the last of these resolutions with respect to the CARES Act funding, at least for this year.
Thank you, Commissioner Steck. Support by Commissioners, or moved by Commissioner Steck.
Support by Jones.
Support by Commissioner Jones. Questions or comments on this resolution? Commissioner Wooden.
Thank you, Chair. Just a quick question. With the unspent funds coming back to us and being appropriated towards county-related COVID expenses, will that potentially, I imagine this being the case based on our fiscal report that the Finance Committee received on Tuesday, but will this potentially free up general fund dollars that have been previously purposed for county-related expenses that can then be moved towards some of the more, I guess, human or community service side of COVID relief that may still exist after after December 31st? I know this is helping us meet our deadline to utilize these funds, but will that allow us to essentially repurpose certain general fund dollars to continue aid into 2021 as the pandemic nears its tail end?
As I understand it, that's kind of to be determined. Obviously, everything has to get audited, and we need to go through what our needs are going to continue to be, which continue to evolve and change daily, as Dr. London will quickly affirm. But Wayman, do you have any additional thoughts on that?
No, and then I apologize. This morning Murphy was in the room, and so you may not be able to see me. Hopefully you can hear me. Okay,
We can see you. We can see you from far away.
Okay, yeah, far away. But yes, we are, as Commissioner Bolter just mentioned, looking very carefully at our current needs. The health department, as well as some other departments, are going to probably need some additional funding based on the current ramp up of COVID. But we are identifying ways that we can utilize other funding sources beyond the first of the year. Our community action agency, trying to figure out how we can supplant dollars elsewhere so that we can have dollars at the first of the year that may get lapsed. So yes, we're looking at all of that, Commissioner Wooden, and we will definitely have our eyes on it. We had a request yesterday, for instance, from our courts. For instance, we have some indigent needs. Some of our guardians are landing up in our hospitals and way beyond what we had figured, with COVID. So we will need to address that particular need, for instance. So yes.
Perfect.
Any other questions on this resolution before we move on? All right, seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the motion to adopt Resolution 134, Commissioners Skaggs,
Yes.
Wooden,
Yes.
Womack,
Yes.
Bulkowski,
Yes.
Talon,
Yes.
Hennessy,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Sparks,
Yes.
Teal,
Yes.
Breavy,
Yes.
Coleman,
Yes.
Voorhees,
Yes.
Feinstein,
Yes.
Vice Chair Steck,
Yes.
Commissioners Jones,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Antor, Commissioner Antor, Commissioner Vonk,
Yes.
Chair Bolter.
Yes.
One more time, Commissioner Antor,
My apologies. Yes.
Madam Chair, you have 19 yeas, 0 nays. The motion passes. Resolution 134 is adopted.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are on to number 9 of our agenda, public comment related to general county matters. Do we have anyone from the public today wishing to address the board on general county matters? Don't see any hands. Pam, anything in the email inbox?
There are no messages in the inbox.
All right. We're going to move on to reports today. Official commissioner reports. Commissioner Morgan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a couple of quick reports. Keep looking for emails from the executive director, Tori, from the airport. I think he does a nice summary of what's going on out there, just to keep my colleagues up to date where the airport is. And the second thing I'd like to report on is our 800 system is just about ready to go live. The city of Grand Rapids will be running a dual radio testing by the end of the year, and we should be up and running at the county by first quarter of next year. So pretty exciting times. Been a long heavy lift, but I think there is light at the end of the tunnel. So there you go.
Thanks, Commissioner Morgan. That's a big deal. Some of our new members and new members joining us on the call for next year. It's been a long time coming, but that is a major step forward for emergency communication. So thank you for that update. Commissioner Breve.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. I have an update from CHAC and Human Services. I see Adam London's on here too, so feel free to add on Dr. London if you'd like. But one thing that I've learned is Kent County is getting additional freezer space for the coming vaccinations. And so we'll have plenty of vaccine storage in the coming weeks. And it sounds like, we could start receiving it in the next couple weeks, and distribution will start at the frontline workers and also long-term care facilities. And then it sounds like maybe March or April, it'll be available for more widespread distribution. So things are looking good, and I kind of see this as the beginning of the end of our pandemic here with this coming down the pipeline. So exciting stuff happening, but yeah, Adam, if there's anything else you want to add to that one, chime in.
Well said, Commissioner Breve. We're all excited to go on offense with a vaccine against this pandemic.
Thanks.
Any other official commissioner reports today? I don't see any hands up. Commissioner Steck.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. Just a quick report on that fact that we do continue to make progress on the crisis center agenda and issues that we've been working on. And as we've struggled with the response to COVID, we know that our behavioral health demands are even that much greater through the process. So I think that it's really important, and my hat's off to Adam London and the department and the work of Wayman and others to make sure that we continue to retain the outside entity to actually facilitate our plan to implement a crisis center. So stay tuned, that will continue to press on.
Thank you, Commissioner Steck. Any other official reports? Don't see any hands raised. All right, we will move on to Commissioner Miscellaneous today. Who has miscellaneous? Commissioner Breve.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. One thing I wanted to mention is that the Grand Rapids Public Museum is currently open, and they have, their holiday items going on. They have the Herpelsheimer's train, which I'm sure many of you remember, but you can check that out. And they're open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, from 9 a.m. to 5, and Saturday and Sunday 10 a.m. to 5. So take some time and check that out during the holiday season.
Great. Commissioner Jones.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. I was reviewing the note on the parks update and just wanted to touch base on maybe having further discussions on if we have a very early spring, that maybe we can be flexible and get some things opened up sooner. I think that's just a dialogue we need to continue to have and circle back on, given what happened last year. But here's hoping it all becomes a non-issue and that vaccination does the trick for everybody come March.
Great. Commissioner Milton.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. I wanted to just follow up, not follow up necessarily with what Commissioner Breivy said as far as the vaccine. And having worked with the CHOC department for my 4 years on the board, it is amazing what our health department does compared, and not even compared, never mind. They just are superb. They are very focused. They're extremely intentional. They work well together, knowing what needs to get done. And I don't know how they do it, but it is amazing. And on those same notes, I think it doesn't get mentioned, in my opinion, often enough. The schools in Kent County are amazing. Not all counties are as fortunate as we are, and maybe that's why we don't mention it, because it just seems that they're doing their thing. But we listened this morning, we have some kids in school, some kids not in school. We have homeschooled kids. We have programs for homeschooled kids. We cover just about every type of schooling that there is. And our kids are educated. They're well educated. And our teachers right now have got to be pulling their hair out along with the parents. And I just really want to shout out to KISD and all of the superintendents and teachers that are in Kent County. They are absolutely moving mountains so that our students continue to be educated. And I'm grateful for all of that.
Thank you, Commissioner Milton. Commissioner Ponstein.
Thank you, Chair Bolter. I know I was a little late on a couple of my yes votes, but I was trying to Facebook Live. A friend of mine was being sworn in at the Capitol to become a new representative. Julie Rogers is a county commissioner from Kalamazoo. Herself and a colleague of hers from the county board down there won seats on the legislature, along with a really good friend of mine, Ken Borton from Otsego County. So that's 7 new county commissioners that have been added to the legislature in this cycle. So I think it's a great opportunity to keep the voice of what counties do and why we matter. Just want to bring up one thing. We are in lame duck. I don't know what all is going to get done or what the will is, but just want to remind all the county commissioners that bills for the 4-year county commission, both of those are all set to go. They're being blocked up for, I'm assuming, some sort of partisan reason, that the argument is whether we need to run on the presidential years or the governor years. The position of MAC is it doesn't matter to us because we run on both of those already. So if you want to comment on that, the MAC website has a template where you can contact your representatives or senators. It's just a matter of putting your name in and hit and click. Your representatives will be automatically contacted. But we've been trying to get this through for years. This is a great opportunity. I don't know if it's going to come through, but yeah, a lot of the legislatures that I've talked to said they haven't heard about it from county commissioners. So like I said, if you got 30 seconds, you can go to the MAC website and send all your representatives a note on that issue. So that's all I've got. Thank you, Chair Bolter.
Thank you, Commissioner Ponstein. Thank you for always working so hard for us on MAC. I think sometimes our lack of participation is because we know you're doing all that heavy lifting for us. So thank you for that. Commissioner Womack.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I had a chance and opportunity to meet a young lady by the name of Honesty Hodges a few times in her life during the last couple of years. And I have requested from the Kent County Board of Commissioners a proclamation to honor the life and times of 14-year-old Honesty Hodges and present that to her family members. I'd like to read that at this time. Whereas at the brave young age of 14, Honesty Hodges entered the gates of heaven on Sunday, November 22nd, 2020. And whereas Honesty, a happy and healthy young girl, excited to be celebrating her birthday on November 9th, became ill and was hospitalized at Helen DeVos's Children's Hospital after testing positive for COVID-19. After a 2-week battle with the coronavirus, Honesty succumbed to her illness. And whereas Honesty was a beautiful, smart, loving girl who became a catalyst for a youth interaction policy known today as the Honesty Policy, after she was held at gunpoint and handcuffed by police officers at the innocent age of 11 years old. This brief detainment led to policy changes in how police interact with children at crime scenes. And whereas Honesty was a sweet and innocent princess who had an incredible life ahead of her, she leaves behind a remarkable footprint in the world and an activated policy, the Honesty Youth Policy, to help protect other children from the atrocities that they endure, that she has endured in her short, vibrant young life. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the board chair, Mandy Bolter, and I, Commissioner Robert S. Womack, on behalf of the Kent County Board of Commissioners, hereby proclaim Sunday, November 22nd, 2020, as a day of celebration of the life of Honesty Hodges, who gained her angel wings and left this world too soon. Signed by Mandy Bolter, Chair, Kent County Board of Commissioners, and myself, Robert S. Womack, Kent County Commissioner, District 17. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, staff, for putting this together so soon. And I just want to send my love and condolences to Honesty Hodges' family that she leaves behind here with us in Kent County, and a reminder to others that COVID-19 has taken a lot of lives, and it does not discriminate when it comes to color, age, sex. Anybody can catch COVID-19. I want to thank our Kent County Health Department for all they've done to save as many lives as possible. And Honesty Hodges will be remembered.
Thank you, Commissioner Womack. It was very sad when I received your email request, and I know I watched those news stories when that incident occurred, and having children about that age was very impacted myself, and just was so sad to hear of her passing. So I appreciate you always being a voice for your community, and appreciate the opportunity to join you in that recognition. Any other Commissioner miscellaneous today? If not, I do have a couple items as usual. All right. Real quick, I did speak to Senator McGregor 2 days ago, asking if he had any updated information on the Open Meetings Act legislation that allowed us to meet virtual. If we, as you know, that will expire at the end of this year. And for staff planning purposes and our purposes, we needed to kind of know where they were going to go with that. It sounds like in these last couple of lame duck session days that they will be extending that most likely through the beginning of, or the end of first quarter of next year, potentially through the end of March. So we will continue to monitor and see how things go with the current state of where we were at. I really wanted to do an in-person meeting for our last meeting to send off our 4 board members who are leaving us. But I don't think that that's wise at this point. So we will be doing virtual for our last meeting of the year, and then we will continue to monitor things for January. To that point on the last meeting, it's sad to see some of our members go. Commissioner Voorhees, Talon, and Melton, you contributed greatly, and we will be honoring you in the best possible way we can virtually. But if anyone, other commissioners have plans to speak, we are keeping the agenda fairly light. We will be getting an update from Adam London for special order of business, just to kind of give us a recap of the year and a more in-depth report on, hopefully he'll have more information on the vaccination rollout, and then we will move forward from there. Lastly, Pam, I don't know if staff has this queued up or not.
Yes, we do.
Yes, I'm super excited to announce that we are going to roll out the Kent County Takeout Challenge, and it's a kind of a virtual challenge, but as you know, restaurants in our area are just struggling My take has always been, we'll do whatever we can, any way we can to try to help these employers and save some of these jobs in our community. And so we're rolling out the Kent County Takeout Challenge today. And I am going to be posting something following this meeting. I'm going to challenge my board members to go videotape yourself or take a picture of yourself at your favorite, with your favorite takeout of a local restaurant, and then challenge others, tag others, and let's kind of keep it rolling. But we'll be rolling that out today. It will have a link to a list of all of the locally owned restaurants in Kent County. You'll have this little graphic you can use, and also try to preemptively tell people about the challenge, so when they're tagged, they actually do it. But the hope is just to keep this running, and we just kind of get these restaurants through till they can fully open. We don't know what the governor is going to do. We still haven't heard on the shutdown. I assume she will extend that, or DHHS will extend that. So this is just kind of an idea I came up with as a way to continue to engage us and help our local restaurants as best as we can. So I hope you'll all participate, and any help you need, Lori and Sonda are queued up and ready to go. So I hope that we can have great participation and really help out our restaurants. Any questions on that before we adjourn? All right. So everybody's going to do it, right? Or you can buy gift cards. You don't have to, if your cooking is so phenomenal that you never have to get takeout, you can always buy gift cards and promote that as well. So with that, I'll call on Commissioner Morgan for a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn, subject to call the chair to December 17th, 2020, 8:30 a.m. for official meeting.
Moved by Commissioner Morgan, support by Commissioner
Brevi.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Have a great day.